Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Native Moon Tarot here, doing something a little bit different today, something that I've never done before, but this is actually going to be an ASMR kind of reading. There's not really going to be any visuals to this one, like normally I have all the cards laid out and stuff. I came across this idea not long ago, because sometimes, with having a toddler running around and not having enough time or days in the week, setting out the cards and doing the visuals for the reading can take up a lot of time. But I thought about doing these kind of ASMR pick a card kind of style readings where you can close your eyes, you can listen to my voice and I can talk you through the reading that way. It's still going to be pick a card or pick a flower, pick, whatever it is on the screen, whatever I've picked for this reading. But there's going to be one of three options, and you can go ahead and fast forward to the timestamps of those options, and you can go ahead and listen to your reading. So whatever you've picked, fast forward to that timestamp and you can go ahead and listen. This kind of reading is going to be, who is your soulmate? Who are you meant to be with in this lifetime? Who is your person? I know there's a lot of people wanting to find out who their soulmate is, who their twin flame is, whatever the label is that you decide to put on it, who is your person. Don't try and get too hung up on the labels about things, and remember that this is a general reading. I know I did a while ago, I did a twin flame reading, and a lot of people were saying, oh, it's impossible for this person to have this colour skin with this colour hair. Remember that maybe not everything is going to resonate completely. Hair colour, for example, it can be dyed. Eyes colour, for example, can change with perception and with weather. Green eyes are known to change to more blue hues or more brown, depending on if it's warm or cold. So remember that this is a general reading. As long as you know the person who I am talking about, if you've already met them, then use your intuition, and you kind of use your common sense to think about, oh well, it's this person, I recognize it, even if one or two things is slightly off. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there, because I do get a lot of comments on those kind of videos, and I see it on a lot of other people's readings as well, where people think because one thing is wrong, such as an eye colour or a hair colour, that's not the person that they are talking about. If you know who I'm talking about and you've met this person, then yes, that's your person, okay? That's your intuition telling you that that's that person. So sorry about that disclaimer, but I think it is really important to say that, because a lot of people, they kind of miss the message because they get too caught up on their appearance if like one or two things off. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. So if you chose option 1, who is your soulmate, who is your person, who is your twin flame, your person was coming through very feminine. So it doesn't matter what your sexuality is, it doesn't matter if this is their physical appearance, whether they are physically feminine or biologically a female. So take whatever resonates. In any kind of soulmate, or especially in twin flame relationships, there is always a divine feminine and a divine masculine. I'm talking about energy here, not biology or physical appearances. They don't literally have to be a female, but your person definitely embodies feminine energy, so I will refer to her as a she, just for the ease of the reading with the way that I am talking, but I will use she and they. So I hope that's okay with you, but if you're not really resonating with this, then go ahead and pick another option, okay? But your person is very motherly, is very feminine, okay? I have Gaia here, I have the mother archetype here, and I have the guide. It's a very heavily Mother Earth energy, and someone who operates from the heart chakra is also what I'm getting pretty heavily. Someone who has unconditional love, someone who is compassionate and extremely nurturing. There's just so much green right here in front of me with the cards. So definitely someone who respects earth, who respects nature, who likes to be around in nature. Your person is definitely someone who loves to go out, maybe in forests or around lakes, because they find it very healing, and they themselves are healers. They are guides to other people, and they they represent the nature of the divine in life and in themselves. So they just embody pure divine feminine energy, pure femininity, and they are just full of compassion. They could actually be a Leo or a Leo rising. You might find that surprising because Leo is a fire sign, but Leo does actually rule the heart chakra, and at their best, Leos are some of the most compassionate, heart-centered people around, full of unconditional love. So they could be a Leo rising or have Leo strong in their first house in sidereal astrology. I tend to look at sidereal astrology over Western tropical astrology because it is my personal belief that sidereal astrology is true astrology because it works on the true position of the planets, not based on the seasons, and it is roughly around about 29 degrees behind Western astrology, so it normally goes back a sign from your Western astrology charts. So this person may actually be a Leo in their sidereal or Vedic astrology, which is why I put an emphasis on that. Your person too, though, they are just radiant. They are physically beautiful. We have the sun here as well. Again, strong Leo vibes, but they just embody the sun. And when you think of the sun, it's something that makes you happy. It's vibrant. It's radiant. It's fertile energy as well because the sun aids in the growth of plants. It aids in the growth of nature, and it helps nature grow as well. It helps crops grow. And so, they can't kind of grow without the light. And this person embodies light. They are just a pure light being. They are unconditional love. They are unconditional compassion. And they have like a reverence and a beauty about them that just embodies the divine feminine and life in general. They may also be a very fertile person. They may physically have children already. They may also have pets and animals around them a lot. Children and animals just may naturally be drawn to your person because of their aura. Their aura is very green. Green auras are just very healing. Animals and children are just naturally navigate towards those kind of auras because they are just full of love. I mean, green is the color of the heart chakra, as I've said. And again, we've got Gaia here, so this person I'm just getting nature and love and just a reverence, compassion. This person knows who they are, though. They're not someone who's kind of wishy-washy in their approach. They're not like all love, all hippie, smoking weed and traveling and off grid. This is someone who is very grounded. This is someone who is very down to earth. This is someone who will stand up for their beliefs. A lot of people think that divine feminine energy is kind of pushovery, or that it's not taken seriously because it's not masculine. And that's not the case at all. Just because this person is full of unconditional love, they are not a pushover, okay? They know who they are. They are a powerful being. They are loving, they are creative, and they know that they're loved. They know who they are. They know the kind of the effect that they have on people. And it's not in an egotistical way. It's not done in an arrogant way. It's just that they know who they are and they will stand up for their beliefs, morals, principles, and values, even though that they are full of love and they're not a very judgmental person. If someone tries to kind of push them, or they try to push their beliefs on them, or they try to push them out of their comfort zone in a negative way that's not true to who they are, they will fight back at that, because we do have the knight archetype here as well. So, they are a fighter if they need to be. They're not willing to be pushed back into a corner. They're not kind of, like I said, all love, all everything is great. They're not naive. They're not whimsical. They're not idealistic to a fault. Whilst they are loving and compassionate, they will fight for what they believe in. They will fight for others as well, especially if they feel like others have been abandoned, or they feel like others are being treated unfairly. They're the first to go in and kind of mother someone. So I'm just seeing overall a very compassionate and motherly energy. They are very intuitive, very creative. Cancer vibes here as well. So the person that that is your soulmate or twin flame may also be a Cancer, sun, moon, or rising, or they may have Cancer in their midheaven. And they just generally like to be around water, and their energy is kind of watery as well, even though we do have those Leo vibes in here. I'm also seeing someone who can kind of shapeshift, and who's someone who is very fluid. It's kind of effortless to be around them. The way they move or the way that they talk may be effortless. Everything just seems very fluid, and even their movements. I'm seeing that their hand gestures may be very fluid, or the way that they walk just may be very not seductive, because it's kind of just like it flows and you can't take your eyes off it. Like the way this person just moves is just fluid. That's the only way I can describe it. I'm sorry I can't describe that any better. But they're just very intuitive. They're very instinctive. They know their instincts. They may be a little bit impulsive at times or react emotionally to things a little bit too quickly, but overall their heart's in the right place. I am seeing as well that they are also embodied by the cosmos. Okay, so they have a creativity and vastness about them. Just being around them kind of expands you and expands other people, and this is why people are drawn to them, because they can kind of help heal and grow other people. They kind of aid other people in their own spiritual evolvement, because they have so much nurturing and motherly energy, like Gaia, that, like the sun, it's like she almost has the seeds of growth and can facilitate growth. So if you had a problem, you could go to her and she would be your wise counsel, your guide, and she would plant the seed in you that then could grow. And then eventually, maybe a few months down the line, you're like, oh, that word of wisdom, that word of advice that I got from her, I get what she's saying now, because she's just so radiant. She's the sun, she's the earth, she's the moon, she's everything, and she's everything that someone needs to grow. I'm almost imagining like a plant or a seed in soil. She's the sun, but she is also the cosmos and the moon here, but then she is also the earth and the soil that facilitates growth and provides that nurturing environment for someone to flourish. And that is what she embodies, or I'm saying she, but again, this doesn't necessarily have to be a female, but it's just effortless, and the way it is done is so natural. And I'm getting the word nature, like there is just something that is very eloquent and elegant about this person and the way that she moves through life. And also I'm seeing that this person could actually be spiritual. So this person, they could perform sacred rituals. They could be a green witch or a wizard. I don't know if people believe in wizards, but I mean, we're all inclusive here. But they may pray a lot. I've got the altar priestess here, so very high feminine intuitive energy. Again, it just screams elegance and nature and love and unconditional compassion. I feel like they may pray, or they may do some sacred rituals, or they take a lot of pride in self-care, and they may teach others about self-care and how they can heal their body, like natural remedies, natural herbs, natural medicines. They may also experiment with cannabis or use like CBD oil. They may use like serums and different kinds of like grounding oils, grounding techniques. They may just heavily work in like a plant garden, or they may even have like some kind of farm, I'm getting, but there's a heavy emphasis on nurturing and plants and nature. So they may kind of work in this field, or they just kind of embody that in general. But for appearances, I'm getting someone who is very seductive. I have got the Don Juan here. It spotlights someone's positive seductive qualities. This person is very regal. They stand very tall. They're very confident in who they are. They may be quite introverted and shy, but overall their body language speaks elegance, and they are quite sultry, whether they mean to be or not. They're very attractive physically. I feel like the proportions of their body are just very sexy, and a lot of people are drawn to them. I feel like they may have a lot of curves on their body, or their clothes just kind of sit in the right places that makes them just appear more physically attractive in general. I'm getting darker hair, longer hair, whether that's male or female, specifically dark brown to black. In the summertime, it may, if they have black hair, in the summertime it may look more dark brown because the sun kind of bleaches black hair, but I'm definitely getting dark brown, black vibes for the hair. Their personality and charm, like the way that they just express themselves, is creative and it's fluid, and that might be a standout feature that you can recognize from them. Again, you may recognize them from having a green aura. This person also, wings came out a lot, so this person is definitely some kind of earth angel. Sorry about that. Earth angel. I personally don't believe in earth angels as a term, because my personal belief is that angels cannot reincarnate on this earth. They have never incarnated on this earth. Earth angel is just kind of a broad term for starseed, or ascended master or ascended guide. I definitely think that they are some kind of ascended guide, but again, I don't believe in the term earth angel, but I am going to throw that in there because I know some of you might believe in that. I personally don't, like I've said, but they could be an earth angel or some kind of higher being that has incarnated here and is working with Mother Earth. I'm also seeing that their height might be shorter than average, or it might be just shorter than that you expect. And a standout feature about them is their mouth. So their mouth might be quite plump, it might be quite red, it might be an area that you are drawn to or that you find physically attractive, people's mouths, or the way that this person smiles. Again, the way that they express themselves, because they are quite charming in their personality and they have a lot of charisma when they talk, and everything that they do is very fluid. So you may just want to listen to them talk all of the time, because the way that they talk, they don't stutter. It's very elegant, it's very soft, and it's a very soft approach. Even if they are giving you a hard lesson, I feel like it still comes across very soft and very loving, and it's done in a very patient and a nurturing way. I'm also getting that this person could have hazel eyes or brown eyes. There is just something that is very I keep saying the word nature, but there is just something about them that screams nature. When I think of nature, I think of greens and browns and golds, and this person might kind of embody that with like brown hair, brown eyes. Maybe they have like a golden skin, or they have like a yellow undertone in their skin. There is just something that radiates the sun, and that radiates that kind of elegance about them. So again, definitely picking up on a feminine energy here. But again, they are not a pushover. I'm seeing that in love, they are very loyal, they are very romantic, they love honour, they love chivalry, they love that kind of tradition about love. They're kind of the one that would appreciate poetry. They would also like to give cute notes to their partner, leave them on the fridge and or pack them in with their lunch. It's just someone who loves love and has an appreciation of nature and life, and just life in general, whether that's children, fertility, the birth of new ideas, creativity, the life of writing and ideas and philosophy. Like, they just love nurturing life and watching things grow and flourish, and they help other people to do that. So I hope that resonated if you picked the first option. Let me know what you guys think in the comments for this style of reading. I love to read through your comments and stuff and see what you suggest for the next one. So thank you for picking option 1. Bye guys. Okay, so my option 2s. If you picked option 2, let's go ahead and firstly, let's talk about your twin flame or soulmate's characteristics and their personality so that you can recognize them. And then afterwards, I will go into their appearance. So for your twin flame or soulmate, please don't get too caught up on the label. It is at the end of the day just a label, but your life partner, your person, is coming through as a male. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are physically a male. It doesn't matter your sexuality. It's just that normally, especially in twin flame connections, there is always a divine feminine and there is always a divine masculine, and your person embodies a divine masculine. For the sake of the reading, I will use he and they. I will try and use they as much as possible, because I like to be all inclusive, but I will probably slip into he quite a few times. So sorry about that, but I will be saying he just because I do have a lot of masculine energy here as well. So your person came through as very spiritual. The archetypes that I have is the priest, we have the liberator, we also have the exorcist as well, which I found really interesting, and the detective. So, you know, especially with the priest and the exorcist here, it's definitely a lot of masculine energy. It's definitely a lot of spiritual energy as well. I feel like your person is spiritually awakened, at least to some degree, whether they consciously know it or not. And even with the exorcist card, don't get scared, okay? A lot of people think of exorcisms and think of demons and negative energy. It's not that. It's that your person can kind of free other people from their own demons, and they can free themselves not only from maybe physical demons, maybe they are a literal priest, but it's just about destructive behavior, destructive impulses as well, addictive behaviors, you know, as well, alcoholism, drugs, you know, escapist behaviors. This person is very good at facing challenges head on, and they can see the bigger picture in life. Because I also have here the Perseverance, the Rainbow Prince. I also have the Eagle King, which is someone who sees the bigger picture and relies on angelic help, or has a lot of angelic help around them. I definitely see that your person has a lot of guides and a lot of angels with them. So this is why I feel that they will heavily work in the spiritual world, or they will at least do things that are spiritual as a hobby, because, you know, there's just a lot of spiritual energy here that I can't ignore in the reading. This isn't like unconscious spiritual energy. This is actual spiritual energy that they have harnessed and they have learned and they have worked upon, because, you know, the angels are heavily working with them. They are very likely empaths as well, your person. Sorry if I'm kind of jumping around a lot here. I'm getting a lot of information. They are very empaths. They might be in tune with the moon or the moon cycles, and they're very able to manifest things into their reality. So they at least have some understanding of the spiritual world. And again, because I have the exorcist here, the priest, and the liberator, this person can liberate other people. They can liberate other people from their own self, is what I'm getting. So people might come to them for advice, spiritual advice, wise counsel. They might work in the spiritual field, so they might work as a Reiki healer, is what I'm getting. They might work as some kind of energy healer. They might work with crystals, is what I'm getting as well. They might also be a crystal child, or like some kind of indigo child or a star seed. They are definitely higher in their evolvement. They are definitely higher evolved in their spirituality, and they are definitely connected to the moon, the angels, the cycles of the moon. They are definitely very in tune with their own body and other people, and they are very good at working on not only their own issues but other people's issues. And I feel like this is what makes them very spiritually evolved, because people who can actually work on their own issues and understand their flaws and see the bigger picture, like the Eagle King, and continue to work on them, are the people that genuinely ascend a lot faster, because instead of hiding away in addictive or escapist behaviors, they face them head on, and they actively are always trying to work on themselves. They're always trying to improve themselves. They're always trying to work on their body, you know, their health, their mental health as well. They might be very conscious about what they put in their body. They might be very conscious about the use of energy. They could easily go into a room and sense when the energy is off. They pick up on other people's emotions very easily, again, because they have that empath tendency. And the moon and other people's energy can really affect them, and it can actually affect their manifestations, and they can be very cautious of that. Because they know that they can be thrown off quite easily if they don't actively ground themselves, or if they don't actively work on clearing out their chakras or doing these kind of things, and they know that they can get bogged down by other people's energy. Because of this, they might actually be a little bit of an introvert, or might be a little bit of a social recluse. I'm getting hermit vibes here. But they're just very diligent. They're very focused individuals. Focus comes up a lot, and perseverance is kind of like with an exorcism, right? You can't just quit halfway through. You have to see it through until the end, and I feel like their personality is very much like that. Because they are a detective as well, they just have great powers of observation and intuition, and they desire to seek out the truth in any kind of situation. They want to get to the bottom of things. They want to get to the root cause. They don't just want to fix the outside kind of problem. They want to get to the root of the problem. So they understand that if people have addictive behaviors, or they develop addictive behaviors, that you can't just treat the behavior, you can't just treat the drug problem, or you can't just treat the alcohol problem. You have to treat the emotional reaction that's happening, and the kind of underlying emotional problem that's underneath, that's causing it in the first place. It's kind of like they see below the surface and they understand, like an onion, that there is many layers to something, and it kind of gives them a lot of depth, and they understand depth as well. And this gives them the power to transform others and themselves. So kind of a lot of Pluto and Scorpio energy here as well. But I'm also picking up no, definitely Scorpio kind of vibes, because they kind of have that depth and that spirituality and that transformation, and they're not afraid to go into the dark either. Because with exorcism and demons and, liberating, I mean, I'm saying demons, they might not actually work with demons, but they might work with darker energies. And that's not to say that they actively work in kind of dark magic or anything like that, or they're kind of in some kind of dark cult. I'm not saying that at all, but they are not afraid to face the dark or work with darker energies, because they understand them. They understand that to see the light, you also need to experience the dark. To understand the dark, you also need to experience the light. They understand the polarity of things, and it's kind of giving me Scorpio vibes, because Scorpios like to delve kind of into the darker side of life as well. They kind of like to delve into the more morbid topics, the more taboo topics, the things that people don't necessarily see at the first glance. So they could be a Scorpio in their sun, moon, or rising, particularly in sidereal astrology. I always go by sidereal, just because it is the true placements of the stars, and it's not based on the seasons like it is in tropical astrology. So I'm heavily sensing that they could be a Scorpio. They could have a Scorpio midheaven, or they could have a Scorpio first house. They do have a lot of passion in everything that they do, and this is what helps them with their focus. They're very focused individuals. They know what they want. They know how to get it. They know that they need to work on themselves. They know that, to get far in life, I've got to work through my issues, and I can help other people work through their issues as well. And I need to be surrounding myself with good food, good people, good vibes. Like, they understand spirituality to quite a heavy extent, and they're always trying to seek harmony within their auric field. Like, they can very easily feel if something's out of balance. They might even unconsciously do this, like the vibe of a place doesn't feel right, or the vibe of a person doesn't feel right. They might actually struggle making friends, because they kind of get drained a lot, or they feel like other people are kind of using them, or like draining them in some kind of way, because people are naturally drawn to people who are healing, or that kind of spiritual energy. But again, I'm getting Libra vibes as well with the balancing. So again, they could have a strong Libra in their chart, but they heavily work with the angels, whether they unconsciously do this or not, and they might not even realize their own potential, but they are always trying to work on themselves. They're always being steadfast, they're always focused, they're determined, they have a lot of integrity, they have high morals, they are passionate in what they do, and this is what helps them with their focus, because they're so passionate about it. And again, they are just someone who likes to dig to the bottom of things. You even might be like this yourself. They appreciate depth. They're also someone who loves music. They might very be easily influenced by music. Music might influence their emotions quite a lot, or they might listen to a lot of slow, sad music when they're just feeling a little bit down, because it makes them feel better. They just like to sit and vibe in it. Or they could work in some kind of music. They may be a composer, and they express their spirituality through composing music. Or they may even do something with music, like sound healing, that brings harmony to some kind of spiritual energy, whether that's their own spiritual energy or other people's auras and spiritual energy. But again, they have a very healing vibe about them. I'm seeing a lot of green, so they operate from their heart chakra a lot, and they can just rid themselves and others of demons, and rid anything that's toxic. They're very good at that, and just getting to the bottom of things. So moving on to their appearance, I'm seeing that they have brown hair, they may have brown eyes. I'm seeing if they're a male, they may have just a typical short back and sides with brown hair. There's nothing specific that stands out about it. Their brown eyes may look more golden in sunlight, or they may just be something about their eyes that has a lot of depth to them. One thing that stands out about them, well, a few things that stand out about them that I can't speak. A few things that stand out about them that came through was their clothing, their nose, and their name. So they may have a very peculiar name, or it just may be very ironic for what they do. Perhaps they have a very biblical name, and because they are such a spiritual being, it's just funny or ironic. Or it just may be a very long name, something very unusual that just may stand out. It may have a different spelling to it. But either way, it's very noticeable. It's not just a typical or common type of name. It is something that you would instantly know about. One example I'm getting is, for example, we have the exorcist here and the priest, and yet their name might be Samael, which is, Lucifer's old name when he was in heaven, and people might find that funny, or he may be called like Samuel or something, and it's some kind of play on words, and people might just think it's really ironic. So yeah, there is that, there is their name, but there is something about it that particularly stands out. I'm also seeing that they may have a very distinctive nose. It may be larger than usual, or it may have like some kind of bump in it or scar that may be very distinctive, or it may be quite like just longer than usual. I don't know if I've just said that. But there is something about their nose that stands out as a feature on their face. I'm also getting their clothing as well might stand out. They might dress a lot in robes if they are a priest. I've got a lot of images here of like half-naked men. So I don't know, maybe they just like to stroll around the house half-naked, who knows. But they may just, I don't know why there's images of half-naked men a lot here, but they may wear a lot of loose clothing, or they may not really like to wear clothes. So if they're at home, they may just like chill in some shorts, and that's it, they just might not like wearing them. I'm also seeing their body might be quite muscular, and they might like hide it a lot over baggy clothes, or clothes that you might think might not really suit them. You might just think, why are you wearing that? You have such a nice body. You have such a lot of muscular definition. But they kind of like hide under robes or some kind of longer materials, long t-shirts or baggy clothes. They may also wear a lot of lighter colour clothing. I have a lot of yellows and like creams here, and whites. So I don't know why that's coming through, but it's kind of like Arabic clothing for some of you I'm getting, or some kind of like spiritual clothing. I don't know why, I'm just getting like cloth kind of energy, like cream cloth. So like kind of like Jesus robe vibes. I don't know why I'm getting that. But for some of you that might resonate, for some of you that might not. Okay, so just take that as it is. Let's just see if there's anything else that I'm getting. There is definitely something mysterious about the eyes, because on all of the pictures the eyes are closed or the person is turned away, so I can't see the eyes. So maybe there's just something very mysterious about them, because you can't see into their eyes. And remember, the eyes are the windows of the soul, and kind of that Scorpio energy coming back in, where it's mysterious, it's alluring, and we don't really know the depth of it. There's a lot of depth and secrecy to it and mystery. So maybe this person has very dark eyes, or again with that dark kind of brown, and they may even have like black colored eyes. I know some people it's very, 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 they have very dark eyes, but overall there is just something that's very alluring about the eyes, because there is a level of depth to it that people might not understand. It's kind of like, I don't know what's going on back there, or they might just like be quite shy and turn their eyes away a lot. They might not like to look people in the eyes, so it might come across as very secretive, but overall they are a very spiritual person, they are a very loving person, and they are ultimately a liberator. You can't lie to this person without getting away with it. And in love, they are passionate, and they will be willing to compromise in love. They heavily work with the angels. So this is not a dark person, okay? Just because I'm mentioning exorcism here and demons, and I'm referring to darker energy, they are not demonic or of darkness, but they do appreciate it, they are interested in it, and they do understand it to some extent. They understand that there has to be balance of both. They understand that without the dark, we cannot experience the light. And ultimately, they like to cast out any darkness from others. So there may be some kind of healer in Reiki healing, casting out any kind of imbalances. They may be like some kind of chakra clearer, where they clear out any kind of muddiness in people's chakras, but they may be definitely some kind of exorcist, whether that be spiritual or literal. So I hope that resonated if you picked the second pile. I also just saw 3333 on my clock, so I don't know if that resonates for you, that 333, but I hope that you resonate with that you like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to see and if you liked this type of reading, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye. Okay, so my pile 3s, we are finally here. It's finally your turn. So let's have a look at who your twin flame or soulmate is. Again, like I said in the introduction, please don't get too caught up on the label of things. This is just your person, okay? And your person did come through as a male. First, I will talk about the personality and the characteristics, and then I will move on to their appearance. I am going to be saying he probably throughout the reading, even though he is coming through as a male. It doesn't have to be their physical gender, okay? Your sexuality doesn't matter. What's important is that you recognize the person for who they are. So I will use they as much as I can, but if I slip into he, it's because I am referring to masculine energy, particularly in twin flame connections. There is always a divine feminine and always a divine masculine, and your person is the divine masculine. So I will refer to him as he and a male for the ease of the reading. Okay, so your twin flame or soulmate is very much masculine dominated. Okay, we have the warrior here. We have a lot of masculine energy. I have a lot of rational energy is what I like to call it. There is a lot of movement, there is a lot of action. Your person is very rational in their approach to things, and they have a lot of physical strength. Now, I know I'll talk a lot more about their appearance later on, but they do seem to be quite physically strong, particularly on their upper half of their body. They may be quite muscular. That was a thing that did come through. Again, I'll talk about that later in the reading, but they just have kind of warrior or knight vibes around them. When I say knight, I mean like as in a night warrior, not like night as in the night sky, just in case you were wondering. But they have a lot of warrior vibes around them. They have a lot of strength, they have a lot of skill, they have a lot of discipline, they have a toughness of will as well. They're quite heroic, they're quite stoic, and you know, it's all about self-sacrifice as well. They're willing to sacrifice themselves for others. Sometimes it may come across a little bit egotistical at first glance. You may think that, oh, you know, you're quite arrogant, you're quite well disciplined, you're quite stoic, you don't really show a lot of emotion, you're quite rational, you're quite logical, like you don't have the capacity to hold any kind of true emotion. But that's not the case as well, because I do have a lot of compassion here and a lot of illumination and celebration and loving energy here, and it's kind of like a divine intelligence. And they do experience a lot of synchronicity, and you may experience a lot of synchronicity when you're around this person as well. But this person is just appearing that way. They appear very strong. They appear very strong-willed. They appear very disciplined. Perhaps they work in a field that is very well disciplined, or that they have to have a lot of concentration for. There is definitely a lot of mental kind of energy here. So I'm getting air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or even kind of a kind of Virgo energy. Virgos are very well disciplined, so they could have those signs in their sun, moon, or rising in sidereal or Vedic astrology. As I've said with the previous piles when referencing signs, I don't work with tropical astrology. I used to quite a lot, but I personally believe, since I've discovered it, in sidereal astrology, because it is the true placement of the stars and it is not based on the seasons like it is in Western astrology. So it kind of puts people's signs back one, because it's usually 29 degrees roughly behind. So again, they could have this or an important placement in those signs in sidereal astrology. They're very much a shapeshifter as well. So they have a natural skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, and they also have the ability to see the potential in everything. So they can kind of mold to fit others' needs. They can kind of come down to a level. If they kind of feel like other people are being intimidated by them, then they will kind of try and soften their approach or soften the blow of what they're going to say, because they're very intuitive. Okay, they're not stupid. They might seem that they're emotionless or emotionally unavailable, but they're not stupid. If they kind of know that someone's going to be sensitive about something that they're going to say, then they will try and soften that blow and be compassionate. I'm seeing it in love. They are very compassionate, even though if they may seem this way. It is not a front, by the way. It's not like an egotistical or obnoxious kind of front. I know that some people can kind of have that, where they put on this hard exterior. Their hard exterior is not a front. It is how they are. They are that way. They are disciplined. They are strong. They are skillful. They are of the mind. They are very intelligent, but this is not a front. This is how they operate at a soul level. Again, very divine masculine energy. This is just who they are. This is not a front. And so it's not kind of, ooh, secretly I'm being really defensive and arrogant and egotistical, because secretly I'm a crybaby underneath, or I've got trauma underneath. It's not like that with them. They are that way because they are that way. It's not because they're kind of hiding any front or they're hiding their compassion. It's just that they are that way naturally. I hope that makes sense. But they can kind of evolve that and shapeshift that in a way that suits other people. They're not selfish. They're not like inconsiderate. They understand intuitively, okay, this person may be a little bit sensitive if I say this. Whilst I will always deliver the truth, I will do it in a kind and compassionate way. Perhaps if people come to them for advice, they come to them not because they're going to tell them what they want to hear, but they will always tell them what they need to hear, and they kind of go for that, like, yeah, I'm going to go to you for advice because, you know, you're honest, you're upfront, yeah, you're blunt, but, you know, you mean well, and it comes from a place of compassion and love. It doesn't come from that egotistical, defensive kind of place. I hope that makes sense. But they just kind of like to go with the flow. They know that all is well and that everything happens as it should. They don't really get uptight about anything much. You know, they're a man or a woman of their word. They believe that if they make a promise that they'll stick to it. In love, they will never make promises that they can't keep. And they have a lot of hope and renewal about them with the new moon here, kind of like they believe in new beginnings. They believe in second chances. They believe that, you know, all is well and everything that will happen in divine timing. They're not, even though they kind of have this stoic and kind of cold exterior, they're not really like that. That's just the way that they look and appear. It's kind of like the King of Sword vibes. He kind of looks that way, but deep down he is intuitive and intelligent and compassionate. He just kind of looks cold and standoffish. They may just look expressionless, but deep down they're not. Again, they can kind of transform and kind of shapeshift to who they need to be for other people. At times, they may even do it to a fault where they sabotage themselves, or they may even sacrifice themselves, or kind of sabotage or sell themselves short of their true selves just to help other people. Because with the saboteur here, as one of the archetypes, it is about self-empowerment, but again, as the opposite of that, sometimes they may even slip into tendencies where they'll kind of self-sabotage themselves to an extent where it hurts them. They'll kind of go above and beyond too much for other people, and it kind of is a detriment to their personality. But again, it doesn't come from a negative place. It comes from a place of compassion and love, and because they want to help people and they want to like actively do things to help people. You know, they're a man or a woman of movement. They don't just want to say words. They always have the actions to back up what they're saying. And you know, they can kind of be a little bit impulsive at times, yes, but overall they do mean well. They are illuminated, they are enlightened, they do like to just try and go with the flow of life, but this is someone, again, who is very grounded, very rational, but they can sell themselves short to a fault, kind of like where, well, I'm willing to sacrifice myself and kind of sell myself short a little bit, if it means that I can help other people. And they don't do it because they expect anything in return, but sometimes they may just think that that's what they deserve, that's what their worth is. And, you know, they are actively working on that, I'm seeing, but overall it doesn't come from a negative place. So they can be a little bit of a pushover at times, even though they have this warrior exterior. If they really love someone, or if they're really passionate about something, they may actually be a little bit impulsive and carried away. but they're very good at weaving webs. Like we have the web weaver here, very good at weaving their reality, being, you know, moving towards what they want, knowing that all is well. And because they know that all is well, that they can manifest things into their reality, they can weave those things into their reality and transform things. They're very patient as well. I'm getting very like Taurus vibes. Taurus are known to be, you know, can be quite lazy at times, but, you know, they still like to plod along. Okay, Taurus, I got you. They still like to plod along, they still know what they're doing, they're just a very slow and steady pace. But this person does make movement, I've got that here, they do actively make movement, they're slow, they're steady, they're patient, but they will heavily fight for what they believe in, and they are also a great mentor for other people come to them for a lot for advice, very straightforward talking, very traditional. They like to take conscious action. They like to be selfless. They have a humility. They like to be of service to others. They like to feel gratitude towards others. And it's a very slow, stable earth kind of energy and vibe that they have to them. You know, slowly plodding along, weaving their reality, standing up for what they believe in and standing up for themselves and learning that as well. And really connecting to the earth. They're a person of their word. They're honest. They're grounded. And they also may have clairvoyant kind of tendencies as well. They may see things, they kind of see things from a higher perspective, and they can help other people see that and help them through their own battles, is what I'm getting. So moving on to appearances, your person may have brown hair. I'm also getting green eyes, but again, green eyes can change with the seasons. In winter, they may look more brown or have gold flecks in them, and in the summer, green eyes can actually turn more blue. So that is down to perception. So I'm going to say green or blue because they can kind of be a bit of both. I have green eyes, and sometimes they look more blue, and then sometimes they have more hazel gold flecks in them. So it really depends on the person. I'm getting quite a muscular build, as I said in the beginning, someone who is quite dominant on the top half of their body. Leo risings tend to have this kind of placement, this kind of body. Leos tend to have a very lot of strong upper body strength, strong arms, strong biceps, strong shoulders. So they may have this. Something that particularly stands out about them is their eyes. Their eyes may be very alluring, or they may even be very cold in some kind of way, like they're very harsh. Like I don't know if I can look at them, but at the same time I want to look at them. I'm seeing that they might be quite dark or cold. Again, this is just an appearance. This is not how they actually are as a person, because they are actually someone who is full of compassion and love, and everything they do comes from love and compassion. But I am seeing that just their eyes, you might be very drawn to them. Maybe it is because they kind of change colour. And what I'm getting, like one day their eyes may look more blue, one day their eyes may look more green, and you're always fascinated by this. And they might just look very, like, you know when someone just like scowls a lot or just has a very like harsh kind of look, like they might look emotionless, or they might look like they don't carry a lot of emotional feelings, but they actually do. But for some reason you are drawn to their eyes. I also got ears as well. There might be something very peculiar about the ears that you're drawn to. Perhaps they have like crinkles in their ears, or their ears may be bigger than usual. Their ears may be like flat to their head for some of you, like very close to their head, or they may have scars on their ears or a lot of ear piercings, because I did also get that they may have a lot of tattoos, scars, or markings. So this person may have, I'm getting kind of like tribal tattoos or like tribal markings, because I'm kind of getting that warrior vibe. I'm kind of getting the Jason Momoa kind of vibe, but on a smaller scale. Okay, your person is kind of like Jason Momoa coming through right now. They may have facial hair, but again, that really depends if they shave it or not. Not everyone is going to resonate with that. Don't get too caught up on the appearance. Again, they may have tattoos, but I'm feeling like if they have tattoos, they will be on their arms, or they will accentuate their chest and shoulders. There is just something very specific about the upper part of their body. Again, they may have some kind of scars on their ears. They may even have some kind of markings, like specific birthmarks on this part of their body. but you know, a very masculine dominated earth energy kind of vibe to your person. So I hope that you resonate with this reading and that you managed to gain some clarity in it. Please like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you think in the comments of this reading, if this reading resonates to you. Let me know if you like these kind of style readings, because I can do more of them. They are definitely a lot easier. The flow is definitely a lot easier as well, which I'm finding. I'm more of a talker than a visual person. I am a Gemini, so you know, let me know what you guys think and what you'd like to see next time. Bye.